Okay, today we're going to do some tire changing on the 66 Beetle. Alright, so we got up in the air, just gotta get the things loose. I already broke them loose. And then we'll get the tires off and also gonna do a quick review on a tire changer that I bought actually a few years ago. But I've been using it quite a bit. I like it a lot. It's saved a ton of money. So I will show you how we do it. I'll get these all off and then we'll come back to you and show you the rest of it. I'm sure everybody, or most everybody, should be able to take a tire off. So we'll see you in a bit. Okay, so as I said, we're going to do a little review on this tire changer. I've actually had it for a couple of years now. I've never done a video on it. But since I got to change these tires on the 66 Beetle we've been working on, I'll show you. Hopefully it'll, some tires are a little more difficult than others, but I've changed a lot of tires with this thing. Not just my own, but for other people as well. Just to, hey, save money. First thing you gotta do, obviously, is get your air out of your tire. Being careful not to lose your valve stem. Hopefully you can see that. It's kind of way back here, but you don't want to lose your valve stem. So this is a, I don't know if I got it from Harbor Freight or where, I can't remember now, it's been a few years, but it's a Ranger model RWS3TC. So that's the kind that it is. I will tell you right off the bat, there is one flaw on it, but it's easily fixable for me or anybody that has some steel and can do some welding. Is this piece here that actually breaks your bead. These bars here really they're pretty thick, but I've already bent them a couple times. I'm going to end up welding some much more ruggeder steel in there. You just got to be careful. If you don't push down straight, if that's not lined up straight, you'll bend me more. So you can see that broke that away. Just make sure they're all broke away there. Flip the tire. Over. Get that lined up in there. I think you can see it. Yeah, it's kind of on the back side. You want it right up against your rim. Sometimes you got to turn your tire, so I just kind of hold it up like that. One thing they could do is they come up with something, a nice rugged spring mechanism that would hold that up out of the way when you're trying to move your tire around would be fantastic. But anyway, and all I have this bolted down. I probably will end up bolting it to the floor at some point. It's just bolted down to a really rugged pallet, and I got washers and nuts on the back side. I've actually had to re-bolt it down because I had some really difficult tires one time, and I was really reefing on it pretty hard. Alright, so that's all broke loose. And we're going to take, and you got this pin here which lines up. Usually it'll come up through one of the holes here, but in this tire it doesn't, this wheel configuration, it won't line up with that because of the spacing, but it will go right up in one of these little pockets here and stop your wheel from turning. So when you're trying to turn it up, take it off, it won't turn. It'll hold it in place for you. So I just line it up in one of these pockets. It won't line up with the stud holes, and it won't line up with these other holes. You put this down. This can go either way. I put it up when I'm dealing with aluminum rim. I don't really want it digging in. And sometimes I put a rag or something on there as well, so it doesn't really hurt it. I've never had to really over tighten this. You can crank it right down, but you know, it's designed, you can put this piece in here and really crank it down, but I've never had to do that, so I've never really worried about it. You slide that down in there. And again, aluminum wheels, try to be careful so you don't damage the wheels. Sometimes I keep the bottle of, not sometimes, I always keep it around, but I don't always use it. I mean, it's just a little bit of dish soap and water. Makes it spin off there a lot easier. And this tire size, they're 15-inch. They're 175/15, 205, 175/15. They're actually, they fit on the Beetle, but the reason why I'm changing them is I only put these on, they come off my van, just to move the Beetle around. And I was going to use them, however, since they're pretty tall and wide, the front ones are rubbing the fenders of the Beetle. So, that's not a good thing. So I got brand new ones sitting over, we'll see in a minute. So I just spin this right around, and bam, your tire's off. And my helper, I think, is bringing over a new tire, so these are good tread. So we'll keep those. Actually, I'm going to give those to my dad. They were his originally, and then he gave them to me, and now I don't have a use for them because we're getting rid of the vehicle they were on. Thank you. So when I'm doing these, you know, putting a new tire on, first you want to figure out, you know, what side you want out on your tire. Some of them are, you know, one directional, so you want to be careful of that. These are not at all expensive tires, but they're still pretty wide. I don't really care for the tread pattern, but they're really inexpensive. And I pay like 50 bucks for them. 50 bucks a piece. They are crosswinds. So I just put a little bit of soap on that there. I think that's the side I'm going to put down. I think on these they look pretty much the same both ways. Now this may prove to be difficult. It's a brand new tire. Lots of times you can get that first bead to go down even without the tools. But if you can't, that's what the tools are for. I use like this end here is the flat, and you get two different ends on this. But I use the end that has the flat, which goes against your rim. And then you slide in there. Sometimes you take too big of a bite. There you go. That's one side on. Then you can use the other side. I think you can get a good, it's designed to sit in behind there and just kind of goes right around the tire, and it all works well. It pops right on. Usually I have to use the other side to finish it, but I always use soap on this because it just doesn't want to go. Oh, that's a piece of metal, sharp. Key to this is making sure your other bead is in that void, because the rim, you know, the rim is flat, but it also has an indented area, so you want that bead in there so you're not fighting it. And as you go around, try to push this one down there too. Get it down off the high part of the rim. Huh?
It's going to pop off on you. Never mind.
And I set up here, it's a little bit tight right now, so I got the car on the lift and left it up there. So this is where it gets a little more difficult. If you have tires that you change out a couple times, they work pretty easy, but these are brand new tires, so they're going to be a little stiff. But I think I've only come across one tire that I wasn't able to get on, and that was from a steel rim I was junking. It was in the woods probably for 50 years, and it would not break off the bead, so it really haven't had any issues with the tire changer, other than that one bent piece. Alright, so Put your valve stem back in, and I'm going to pause the video here a second because I got to move some hose around and get my connector hooked up because everything's hooked up to the lift. So we'll be back in just a second. Okay, well, sorry for my arm in front of the camera, but I've lost the power cord for the remote to turn the camera on, so I can't charge it. So I just use this here. If I have two people, I can just use the other one, but oh, it's gonna seal. This one I got lucky. You'll hear it pop here probably in a minute. That one there locks on, so if you have to be maneuvering it while it's filling air to kind of hold these beads up in place, you can do that. Just keep your fingers away from the rim, obviously, because if that snaps up, it'll probably completely squash your finger. I'll check to see if the bottom is popped on, which it is. So that's still filling right now. Just trying to find my gauge. I think I can run over really quick while that's filling and grab it. Alright, well, I don't know where my other one went, but I have a brand new one here I just bought. Well, I've had it for a while. I lost one and then I found it again. So let's see. So we're only at like 20 pounds. This filler here is a cheapie. I actually had to pull it apart. Maybe I'll do a video on it. And had to modify it because the pin wouldn't stay centered on the pin inside the filler. So it would just pop off. It would never fill there. So I had to drill this center pin so it had a spot for that to set on. That's another whole yeah, actually I just did it. It just popped off. I don't know if you heard that on video or not. Buy a tool, buy a good one, I guess. I have a regular filler too that works really good, but I use that one because I want to be able to do other stuff while it's filling. So I just, you want to spray a little soap right on your bead. Now is the time to check for leaks, so you're not messing with it on the car. And I don't see any leaks. That'll bubble right up quickly if there isn't any leak. Pop those off. Just flip it really quick. Guess I'm about out of soap and water. So spray it on one side, then we'll run it around. If there's a leak, you'll see it really quickly. I can see the water going all the way around. Sorry, this video has kind of got a lot of extra time in it too because, like I said, I don't have the remote to charge it. Oh, my wife found it, so it's charging right now as we speak. So this one here is ready to go. So I guess part of this was showing you I'm doing more work on the 66 Beetle, but the other part was a quick review on the tire changer. And I've been very happy with it. I think I paid $125 for it. You figure you bring a tire down. If you bring one down like this was, it had a tire on the rim that had to come off, and then a new tire that had to go on the rim, and then back on a car, or even if you didn't have to put in the car. It's probably going to cost you, I think it's like $8 to $12 to change a tire on a rim. So if you do a set of 4, you're talking like $40. So how many do you have to do before you paid for it yourself? Not too many. It's paid for itself here over and over and over again. So if anybody has any questions on it, feel free to leave a message. Thanks for checking out my video. And again, we're obviously doing some more work on the 66 Beetle here. Get these new tires on it. I got one small gas leak at the base of the gas tank I'm going to try to fix today. And then we'll be, this will be kind of a daily driver. Thanks for watching. And please subscribe and like if you like.